Welcome back to new session. In this session, we will start with chapter 2, the environment in which project operates. This chapter is important to understand the context of question. Some of these terms will be used throughout the course, so it is important to understand these terms clearly. The learning objective of this chapter are how projects are influenced, what are the major organizational influences that may influence the project. Then we'll talk about enterprise environmental factor, organizational process asset, processes, policies and procedures, organizational knowledge repositories, organizational structure, and finally a quick review. Your organization may have multiple projects in execution. Projects are not executed in isolation. Project and project management takes place in an environment which is broader than project. Project operates within the context of organization, which means organization structure will have impact on the way project is planned and executed. Project work is carried out in alignment with organization's goal. The way organization communicates, for example, interdepartmental communication, the use of communication technology within the organization, these may impact the way projects are executed. Projects are influenced by different culture and style. They are also impacted by organization's level of project management maturity and its project management systems. And finally, JV, a joint venture or partnering agreement, means projects are influenced by more than one organization. So these are the well-known factors which will keep influencing the project throughout the project life cycle. Two major categories of influences are enterprise environmental factor and organizational process assets. So when we look at overall influences, you can think about enterprise environmental factors in which you have external factors as well as internal factor. Then you have internal OPA, organizational process asset, which includes processes, policies and procedures as well as corporate knowledge base. Enterprise environmental factors. So what does it mean? Enterprise environmental factors originate from the environment outside of the project and often outside of the enterprise. They directly or indirectly influence the management of project, and PM has no direct control over these enterprise environmental factors. Organizational process asset. OPAs are internal to the organization, so I call them more like a friend to you. They may arise from the organization itself. Most of the time, these are the factors which are within the organization which helps project to get things done. One of the simplest example is methodology of organization. Let's list out some of the internal enterprise environmental factors. So we have organizational culture, organizational structure, governance, geographic distribution of facilities and resources, infrastructure, information technology softwares used in the organization, resource availability and resource capability. Let's look at this different internal EAF in detail. Let's go through details of some of the internal enterprise environmental factors. Organizational culture. This includes vision, mission, values, belief, cultural norms of that organization, leadership style, ethics, and code of conduct. Organizational structure defines the hierarchy and authority relationship, organizational style. This will have major impact on how the projects are planned and executed. Governance defines how projects are governed, methodology to execute the project, and the role of project management office. Distributed resources. geographic distribution of facilities, for example, factory locations. So if your project has a teams, yeah, you have to work at a different locations, so that will impact the project. Virtual teams, shared systems, cloud computing, organization's infrastructure, so facilities, equipment and tools, communication technology used in the organization to communicate, availability and capabilities of all of these resources, information technology, so what kind of a scheduling software your organization is using, configuration management systems, work authorization system, document management system. We also have resource availability, so availability of people, tools, equipment, facilities and material, process to get or acquire those resources, employee capability, so capability of human resources working on the project, external enterprise environmental factor. So we have market conditions, social and cultural influences and issues, legal restrictions, commercial databases, academic research, government or industry standard, financial consideration, and physical environmental elements. Marketplace conditions. So market condition where project is operating can greatly impact the project. For example, what are the competitors? What is your market share, brand recognition and trademarks? So if a market is really in demand, maybe it will be difficult to get a specific resources. Cultural and social influences. So political climate of organization, code of conduct, ethics and perception of a different people within the organization can have an impact on the project. Legal restrictions, for example, country or local laws and regulations that may govern the project. Security laws, data protection, procurement, employment. So all these will somehow impact the execution, yeah, the planning of project. A simplest example, if you have a strict hiring policies, then hiring a new resources on the project will take a time. So you will need to plan those things within your project planning. Academic research. So industry studies, publications and benchmarking results may impact the project. Government industry standard. So regulatory agency regulations, standards related to some product, yeah, production or quality standard. Physical environment, so working condition of resources, weather and other related constraints. Financial considerations, for example, if your project is worldwide project which includes operation, yeah, the execution of activities at different locations, different countries, so exchange rate, interest rates, inflation rate, tariff and geographic location, so that all will impact the project. Commercial databases, for example, benchmarking result, standardized cost estimating data, yeah, risk databases can impact the project. At the beginning, we talked there are two categories, enterprise environmental factor and OPA. So let's focus on OPA. OPA refers to conditions not under the control of project team that influences, constrain or direct the project. They are considered input to most of the planning processes and may enhance or constrain the project management options and may have positive or negative influences on the outcome. However, most of the time I see OPA as a friend to your project. Successful project execution doesn't need to reinvent the wheels, but use existing resources and knowledge within the organization. So what are these different influences? Plan, existing artifacts, processes, policies, procedure, and the knowledge base that your organization have. OPA may be grouped into two categories: processes, policies, and procedure. These are usually established by a project management office or other function outside the project, and this can be updated only by following certain update policies. So for example, you want to change control process. You can't just like that go and change it. You will need to follow certain process to update these processes. The next one is organizational knowledge base. So these are the updated, these are the documents which get generated throughout the project execution. Project managers should be familiar with this OPA. Always remember, OPA are something that helps you. First one is processes, policies, and procedures. One of the common confusion is policies are considered as a constraint and they are referred as an enterprise environmental factor. Then why we are calling them OPA? Well, they can be both enterprise environmental factor as well as OPA. For example, policy may about changes to be allowed in the project or how resources are hired on the project. So these are generally referred as OPA. However, EEF policy may be about legal restrictions, legal policies. Organization may have some standard guidelines, performance measurement that you have to adhere to, templates for project documents, for example, project management plan template, scope template, risk register template, reporting templates. Then organization will have its methodology, so project management methodology, processes like how scope, cost, schedule will be baseline, quality assurance, financial procedures, for example, how payments are processed, who should approve the payment, procurement processes, for example, how the vendor selection will be done, who will be responsible for contracting, who is responsible for negotiating. Then you have communication, reports, procedure to communicate to all other stakeholders, internal communication, external communication. So all of these are considered as a OPA. There is a confusion between various related terms. So let's understand them clearly. Policies are legal, they are mandatory. You ask questions like what, why. For example, why contract need to be signed with the vendor to pay his invoices? So this is a policy, a legal matter. Standards, they help you with a measurement. So here focus is on how much. For example, how much deviation is allowed in the schedule or cost before it changes status from green to amber or to red when you do the reporting. Then you have procedure. They are basically detailed steps. So focus is on how, when, who. So all these questions will be detailed out. For example, change control procedure will give you step-by-step description of how the change is initiated, approved, and implemented on the project. How change management process is executed, when it can be done, can you execute this procedure before scope is baseline, who can approve the change. So all are these detailed steps. Guidelines are recommendations and mostly they are optional. It answers the combination of all above questions like what, how, when, and who. Guidelines and criteria for tailoring organization standard processes and procedure during the initiation and planning process groups are: there are various guidelines and criteria for tailoring organization standard processes and procedure during different phases of the project. So let's look at what are those for initiating and planning process group. So we have four of these guidelines. First is organizational standard. So where we are talking about human resource policies, health and safety policies, security and confidentiality policies, quality, procurement and environment related policies. Then you have product or project life cycle. So project management methods, estimation matrices, process audit, checklist. Then you have templates, so project management plan, project documents, project register, reporting format, contract templates, risk categories. So all these falls under templates. Then you have pre-approved supplier list and contract type. For example, if you are working in a government organization, they will have their pre-approved list of supplier. So fixed price, cost reimbursable, yeah, time and material. These are some of the contract type which are approved, yeah, which are possibly done within your organization. What are these guidelines and criteria for executing and monitoring controlling processes? So we have change control procedures, traceability matrices, financial control procedures, issue and defect management procedures, resource management procedures, organizational communication requirement, again templates, standardized guidelines to perform executing and monitoring controlling activities, and then product verification and validation processes. So as you understand, execution is all about executing the project activity. So a lot of changes are expected. So change control procedure is very important. And as a part of monitoring and controlling, you also will do a product verification and validation. Next, what are the guidelines during the project closure? So during project closure, you will have final project audit, project evaluations, deliverable acceptance, contract closure, resource reassignment, knowledge transfer. So these are various OPAs that you may find, yeah, you may use across different process groups within the project. Organizational knowledge base. So what is this? This is basically a mechanism of storing and retrieving information. Now there are various organizational knowledge repositories where all this information will be lying around. So what are those? You have configuration management, financial data, historical information and lesson learned. You have issue and defect management databases, matrices used for measurement of processes and products, and finally project files from a previous project. Let's do a quick recap of this session. In this session, you learn about how projects are getting influenced by different factors. We talked about two major categories, that is enterprise environmental factor and organizational process asset. EF, you can have internal EF, you can have external one. Then in organizational process asset, again two major categories. One is policies, procedures and processes, and second one is about organizational knowledge repositories. Good job. See you in next session.